All right, fam. So here we're checking, the way that you're walking, the way that you're stabilizing with your foot, your ankle alignment, and I'm just overall just seeing how the fluidity of your body is going. So thing that I noticed already, and it's big, and we already knew this, your right foot is already pointing out, as you can tell. A lot of weight bearing in here, which is causing this knee to cave in. I could already see this left shoulder is elevated, so we're holding a lot of tension in that right posterior chain that we definitely need to open up. Left side's definitely a lot weaker on the way back. If I let it run through, you lose balance when you turn. So same thing. See, that's kind of already pivoting out. When you land here, you try to land straight, but your foot like almost gives out and you step out a little bit wider. We definitely got to open up the hips. Got to open up these ankles to get a little bit more stability. Get this properly aligned and get those calves loosened up a lot more. And then you'll definitely have better balance as we go along through the program. But just a few things that I noticed, and everything else that will go down this program you'll notice. But as you can tell, see, left shoulder elevated, downward, holding a lot of tension, a lot of tightness going on that right hip. All right, fam. So this is gonna uncover a lot already of what I explained to you. So if I let it run it through, you're definitely a lot stronger on your left. On your right. I apologize. When you land with your left, a lot of instability. See that little buckle and that calf, that heel detaches from the bottom. So a lot of instability through your left leg. When you land on your right, you land a lot more stable, but you're definitely weight bearing a lot to the right, which, like I said, is due to the fact a lot of tightness, a lot of stickiness on that right hip. Let it play through. Here we go. On the way back, you'll definitely see the compensation. When you land big heel strike, you land really hard on that heel, and when you land, that knee caves in. Boom, you see that little buckle? So if you see it right here, caves in, boom, and that's its stability. When you land with your right, a lot more stable, but as you can tell, you step a lot wider out to your right, and that's because like I said, we're dealing with a lot of tightness. You already see that collapsing as well. And if you go to your left, back foot kind of turns to help you stabilize, and then stability. But pretty much everything that I already explained to you in detail. All right, fam, here we got the side bend. Things that I noticed already with when you posture. Let this move out of the way. Here you go, zoom in. See how this knee's already caving in and your foot is pointing out? So this already is telling me that, like I told you, a lot of internal tightness in the hip, sticky, which is causing your femur to turn in and your tibia to turn out, which is why you're weight bearing a lot on the outside foot. And as you can tell, this is pointing out compared to your left foot. Now, when I let this play, you're able to bend a little bit more easier to your left. To your right. Simply because this is less tight. But I could almost bet from what I see in your pelvis, this pelvis is hiked up to the ceiling and this one's deep pressing down to the floor. I'll check your alignment when I see you this week. But when you lean to your left, you almost get like a rebound, a lot smoother to your right. You're like, oh, let me reach over, a lot smoother to your right. So it's stuff that we're going to tackle, and a lot of mobility and range of motion in the first phase just to get that body more fluid. All right, fam, this is the toe touch squat. One thing that I noticed already with your arms, I'm going to fast forward a little bit, is how you could fully extend this one and this one's a little bent. That just confirms, like I said, this is pulling you down, right? Foot's already externally rotated out, which is causing this knee to cave in. This was a little bit externally rotated, but not as much as your right. You're just weight bearing a lot on that right hip, okay? Toe touch is not bad. When we go into a squat, definitely restriction, and you can slowly see here how that arm's a little bit more straight, just because you have a little bit more range of motion, because you hold a lot of tension on the right side. Now if we go side view. I'll forward a little bit just because I corrected you here. So biggest thing here, right? Tight hips, anterior pelvic tilt, meaning your pelvis going to your low back. That's why you have that little arch on the back, okay? So the name of the game is we're gonna have to work a lot of mobility, a lot of pelvic movements to open up those hips and get those glutes stronger. More importantly, we have to definitely get that core stronger. So you touch, toe touch is not bad. Pretty good. Flexion needs a little bit. I'll work on the flexion spine. And when you go down, definitely restriction. You can see the heels getting detached, right? Lack of ankle mobility. And that's just not so much lack of mobility, but more so the calf being tight. Bringing the arms back, lined up pretty well. But like I said, we're holding a lot of tension in the low back as well. So stuff that we're going to correct. All right, fam, here's a half knee lean T-spine rotation. When you go to your left, as you can tell, it's very hard for you to turn, and that's because this right side's pulling you back. If we compare it to your right side, when you go to your right, the hip is definitely tight, as you can tell. You can't keep it straight. That's the only way that you could turn, but a lot smoother when you turn this way. That's because the left side is not as sticky as the right. So stuff that we need to prioritize, right? Something that we uncovered, right, is the right side's a lot more stress, sticky, tension that we need to open up, so that way we level out those hips. We level out those hips, you'll be able to release the tension, and then you're going to be able to perform the way you want to perform as well. So, all right, fam, here's the lateral lunge. Pretty stable going to the right, not so much range of motion lacking. And like I said, the ankles going out, the knees caving in. It's just because we're dealing with a lot of tightness, so that just confirms it. So definitely a little bit more lack of mobility going to the right, and a lot more instability on the left. So if I let it play, a little bit more unstable. What I do like here though is you're hinging properly, meaning you're shooting the hips back. This is the right side. Pretty good, stable. Ankles being used. Like I said, that knee's more than likely caving in just because of the stickiness that we're dealing with. And if we do to the left, not bad. The hinge is good too, but you're definitely more on your toes. Heels already off the ground. Good. And that's just because of instability through that hip. Underactive and overactive on the right side. So stuff we're going to tackle. Okay, this is checking ankle mobility here. One thing that I noticed on the left one, and Ken already knew, is that you're more on your toes. Restriction, you see that heel's coming off. So stuff that we got to improve is in mobility. Get that calf to definitely let go and be a lot loose, and we'll take care of a lot of the issues there. Now on the right side, not so bad, not so much the heel, but look how you rotate. Boom, give that extra push to be able to get through it. Okay, the heel doesn't come off tad bit, but you're turning that shoulder inward just to, you see that, just to be able to get that ankle to move a little bit more forward. Pay attention to your, run it a little slow. Look at that right shoulder. Turn in. So, a lot of compensation, a lot of stuff that we're going to tackle. So I'm excited that you're back, and we're going to